Let's try our caller from the 401 area code. Who's calling today from 401?
Is that me?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Bruce. David. My question was about the WHO with Bruce Alward. Have you heard anything about that?
Is
Where
this
he
the
was
guy
asked
who was
about
like asked
Taiwan?
about how Taiwan did, and he just like first he said he couldn't hear the question, then he disconnected on Skype,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
make
when they
that out.
reconnected, he was like, "Oh, you already asked me about that. Ask me about something else."
Yeah, I just wanted to hear your thoughts about that. That's all.
I mean, listen, it certainly does not inspire confidence that when we hear from the WHO how great China's doing, that it's true, right? I mean, one of the things we suspected early on was that China had way more cases than they were telling the truth about. Eventually, China claimed to have mitigated the spread. And one of the things that sort of allayed our fears that China was lying was that WHO officials were in the country and they were saying, no, 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 China really is doing that well. When then you get a WHO official who's asked, hey, but how about how Taiwan did? And the guy first pretends not to hear the question, then hangs up, and then refuses to answer. It certainly suggests political bias of the type that makes me question whether we're getting reliable numbers out of China. So for me, it made me think the problem maybe has not actually been solved in China.
Yeah, that's right. Like I've studied Mandarin Chinese. I've been around Chinese people. My whole campus actually has a whole like Chinese part of the campus, and they're all freaking out about that because a lot of them are from Taiwan or Hong Kong and things like that. And they're like, "How do we trust? How can we go back home? How can we do these kind of things? They're not helping us." So
Well, it doesn't seem that Taiwan and Hong Kong are the ones potentially being dishonest, though, right? I mean, in that sense, it's not a concern.
no, yeah, but they're like, if the World Health Organization is not looking out for us, then how do we know what's actually true? What's happening over there?
Fair enough. Yeah, no, that's definitely a concern. When I saw that video, it was extraordinarily disturbing and makes me question the Chinese data. And listen, I mean, when we look at data, we should probably just not even look at China. Like, let's just exclude China. When we look at growth rates, when we look at mitigation, look at South Korea as a successful example. Look at Taiwan, look at some other places. I don't know how much of an advantage there is to even including China in the data at this point. Like, we know what needs to be done, we know what can be done. China's numbers, we may never really know, is where I am at this point.
All right, yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you for the call. Let's take a quick break. We will go right back to the phones after the break. So if you are holding, don't hang up because we are getting right back to phone calls momentarily.